สวัสดีค่ะ Welcome to Hot Thai Kitchen. The dish I'm making today is inspired by a Thai dish called ไก่คลุกฝุ่น. Now ไก่ is chicken and คลุกฝุ่น means to sort of roll around in the dust. And you'll see why when we go to make it. Now I say inspired by because I did change the method a little bit to make it even better.Or at least I think it's better. It's fried chicken that's tender and juicy and it's tossed in a toasted rice dust, lots of herbs, and oh my god, if you like fried chicken, this is a must try. With a cold glass of beer, perfect. Let's get started.So you know me, I'm a thigh kind of girl. So for this, I like to use chicken thigh, but you can use chicken breast if you like. And I just cut it into sort of strips like this. You know, a couple of bites per piece is perfect. Now I'm going to marinate it a little bit very simply with some fish sauce, of course. And some soy sauce. I'm using Thai soy sauce. Now, if you want to make this gluten-free, you can just do fish sauce. A little bit of white pepper, ground white pepper.And I'm just gonna let this sit until we're ready to fry it. It doesn't need to be made, hours in advance or anything. And that's it. Now time to make our dust. So the dust is basically toasted rice powder with lots of herbs toasted and blended along with it. It's gonna be the seasoning coating on the chicken. So good. Now I've made toasted rice powder many times before and this is exactly the same method, except apart from the rice, I'm also going to add some lemongrass, galangal, and kaffir lime leaves and toast everything all together. And I'm just going to tear my lime leaves up a little bit and remove that middle stem. And everything's going to get crispy and toasty right in here. And now I'm just going to toast it over medium-high heat is okay.Until the rice is a nice deep brown color and all the herbs are pretty much crispy.Once it's deep brown with a toasty aroma, it is done. Now I'm just gonna let this cool a little bit and then we'll blitz it up. While the rice is cooling, I'm gonna make the dipping sauce and I am making nam jim jeaw, which is a northeastern style dipping sauce. It really goes with any kind of meat, but it's especially good with chicken. So I'm gonna start out though with my palm sugar, which I have finely chopped. Because I'm not gonna cook this sauce, I wanna make sure the sugar is dissolved. I'm gonna put a little hot water over the sugar and just let that sit and soak and soften a little bit. And it doesn't need to all dissolve completely now, but if you do this, by the time you're done adding everything, you're pretty much sure that there's no more little chunks. That's good enough. That's about halfway dissolved. Okay, and now fish sauce. There you go. And of course, some lime juice for a little tartness.And to give it a little more body so that the dip is not too runny and thin, I'm going to add some tamarind. And also tamarind gives a kind of tartness that's a little more well-rounded, so it's not so sharp like if we were to use lime juice alone.Nam jim jeaw is always spicy, so I'm going to add a generous amount of roasted chili flakes. And I basically took dried chilies, roasted in the oven until it's smoky and ground it up. You can use any kind of chili flakes that you have, but if you do the roasted kind, then you get a nice smoky flavor. Now that looks like a lot, and it is.This is really spicy, but you don't have to put as much as I did for sure. Now, this dipping sauce is not quite done yet. I still have to add some cilantro, which I'll leave to the end so that it's not wilted, and also the toasted rice dust, and it's going to bring this whole dish together. I've transferred my toasted rice and my herbs here in the coffee grinder. Now I'm going to start seasoning it. I'm adding some white pepper, and I'm going to add a little salt.With a little hint of sweetness, you won't barely taste it, but it's there to balance some sugar. Now, as an option, you can do this, you don't have to. Chili flakes or anything spicy, cayenne pepper, whatever you have. The dipping sauce is already going to be spicy, but for those of you who want to just eat the chicken on its own, because the chicken is also good on its own, you can add the spicy right here, okay? I'm going to add it anyway. And now just blitz it up into a fine dust.Careful, don't breathe too quickly after you open it because there's like chili dust and everything in the air. So now that is magic powder right there. I'm going to transfer this into a big mixing bowl. And then once we fry the chicken, it can come right in here and get rolled in the dust. So I've got my oil heating up for frying, but now I'm gonna toss my chicken into some cornstarch just to provide a little bit of a coating so that it doesn't dry out too quickly in the frying oil. You don't have to use cornstarch. You can use all-purpose flour or potato starch or whatever kind of flour you've got on hand. It'll also prevent the chicken from sticking to each other in the oil. So now that the chicken looks mostly coated, I'm just gonna throw them in a sieve just to shake off the excess flour. And there's something really fun and satisfying about doing this. Ta-da! And that's it. All right, my oil is ready to go. The chicken goes right in, and these will take 1.5 to 2 minutes and they are done. So traditionally, what people do is they toss the raw chicken in the dust and then they fry the chicken with the dust, which is totally fine and you can do that if you want, but I just find that you get less dust clinging that way because you lose some in the fryer. You know, if I toss the chicken in the dust after, you get a lot of dust. All right, these are done. That's how quick it is. And then I'm just gonna put it right in this bowl for now because I still have another batch to fry. And now while the chicken's still hot and bubbling, you wanna dump it into the dust. Woo! All right, so gotta plate these. These make great appetizers. Ugh. And look how much of that dust is clinging onto the chicken. This is perfect. Woo. Now I'm gonna finish that dipping sauce. So there it is. I'm going to put some of the dust into that bowl right there. And you can put as much or as little as you like. The more you put, the thicker it's gonna be. And then the cilantro. You can do mint as well if you don't like cilantro, or green onions. Oh yeah, and you want to add the dust at the last minute because if you let it sit, it'll just swell up and then settle at the bottom. Right now they're sort of fresh and still a little bit crunchy. Very nice. Look at that! What a great little appetizer plate. If you have a glass of beer, oh my gosh, so perfect. This one right here looks perfect to me. Oh, so good. If you like laab, it's got that same feel, except it's crunchy and spicy and munchy. The toasted rice gives that fun texture and a wonderful toasty aroma, and all the lemongrass, kaffir lime leaves, the galangal, you can really smell all that as you chew. Wow, it's so good. So the recipe, as always, will be on hotthaikitchen.com. When you make it, send me a photo on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. If you haven't subscribed to the show, you know what to do. Click subscribe right here, and I will see you next time for your next delicious Thai meal.